In this week's edition of The Gospel of Your Mind, we're going to talk about excuses and stories and how those can drive you just a little bit crazy. We're going to talk about taking action, what it means to really take some action. We're going to talk about timelines because everything's got a timeline. And most importantly, we're going to jump in to moving on. Sit down, strap in, let's have some fun on this week's edition of The Gospel of Your Mind. All right, we're going to talk about excuses and stories. There's so many that people make up with themselves all the time. Excuses as to why I can't do it. Excuses because we've got the COVID. Excuses because it's raining. Excuses are one of the things that holds us back from our absolute ultimate outcome, right? Excuses are one of those things that we tell ourselves to soften it, to hold us back, to put us in that place where we don't take that action. The key to anything, the key to getting any sort of result in your life is not to listen to those excuses. It's not about falling prey to those excuses because that's really what it is. An excuse is like a hunter and you're the prey to it. What we want to do is we want to be stronger and smarter than those excuses that are coming up in our mind. If we allow the excuses to take over, to take control, we're not going to get anything done and we're going to end up doing the woulda, shoulda, coulda. I've seen it too many times. Don't allow those excuses to be the dominant force. Don't allow those excuses to be the things that are holding you back from doing what you want to do. Otherwise, you're going to end up going crazy. You're going to end up going absolutely nuts. And this isn't something that we want to do. Look, stop the excuses from your life. Eliminate the excuses from your life. Don't tell yourself what you can't do. Instead, tell yourself that better story of really what you can do. Take action. It'll be the best thing that you've ever done. Excuses come from a story, and aren't we telling a story with these amazing YouTubes? Let me tell you about it though. When we get the wrong story in our head, stories like it's too big, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I can't find it, I don't know how to get there. When we get those stories in our heads, that's what tells us those fucking excuses. The key here is we've got to eliminate those excuses from our lives. If you want to do something, the easiest way to get towards your outcome is just go and fucking do it. Stop procrastinating. Stop making the excuses. Here, it's a Saturday. Yes, we've got the COVID, and I'm out. I'm making it happen. I'm taking that massive fucking action because I know that it's important. I didn't make excuses that say, oh, Jamie, you know what? You better just chill out, dude. You better just stay home and do nothing and sit on your ass and watch the Tiger King. No, this isn't about that. This is about going and doing something and telling myself a much better story that, yeah, people need this. People want this. This shit is going to get out there, and this shit is what's going to get you seen out there. If I didn't want to be seen, all I would have had to do is keep sitting on my ass on that couch, being all comfortable and being all lazy. That doesn't get me to my ultimate outcomes, though. That doesn't get me what I want to do. I had to tell myself a much fucking better story. That story is go do it. Go have fun. Fucking go find some different locations, do some filming, really truly enjoy yourself. I'll tell you what, doing this here, I'm having a lot of fun with these different locations, going to different areas and stuff, just really, really, really enjoying it. It brings a massive smile to my face and it brings me massive pleasure. It's fun hunting these locations down. It's really fun doing this. Listen to the story I'm telling myself. That story right there is all but eliminating any sort of excuse. Get off your ass and go fucking do it. That's what I told myself. That was my story for me to get rid of those excuses. But what about timelines? Timelines is the next thing that we want to discuss here. Timelines is something huge. There's so many people who figure, hey, fuck, I'm going to go do 1, 2, 3 things, and boom, it's going to make it. I'm going to spend a month doing some videos, posting a couple YouTubes, Instagram, Twitters, whatever it is, and I'm going to be big. This shit takes time. You've got to have fucking patience. This stuff isn't going to happen overnight. You getting recognized, you getting realized, someone finding you and following you or doing those things. Any sort of goal, if you've done it, if you've really got excited with yourself and set something big and juicy, For the most part, that shit isn't going to happen in 1 day, 1 week, or 1 month. It might take 1 year. It might take 2 years. The thing is there's a timeline associated with this stuff. And when we get the misconception that, hey, I could just put something on a timeline, fuck, it's going to get done in a week, and I make it happen, that's when we set ourselves up for a little bit of hard feelings and a little bit of failure, right? Give yourself some realistic timelines on the shit that you're doing. It takes time to grow. You've got to have the patience. You've got to be willing to put in the effort, to put in the time, to really have that patience. Patience doesn't mean sitting on your ass. Patience doesn't mean telling yourself a story that's going to lead to excuses. Patience means going after it. Weekend after weekend, day after day, night after night, whatever time that you have. My Saturdays are filled up with filming all these, and I fucking love it. I get excited, I get juiced. One of my biggest things is going to these different locations and all that. There's going to be a bit of a timeline on here until some people start to figure out what these locations are. I'm not going to talk about that. It's going to be fun when someone figures out what it is, though. But quite literally, it is that time. It's going to take time. You've got to have that patience. Set yourself up for success by giving yourself a realistic fucking timeline on what it is that you want to accomplish. If you say it's going to happen overnight and you know damn well it's going to take you a year, all you're going to do is fuck with yourself on that. Be realistic. I've got an amazing client. I know you're going to watch it, my brother. I know you're going to see this here. And what he's done a very good job of is setting some of those timelines. So he's got the timeline thing down, but he starts hustling, he starts cranking, he starts grinding, recognizing, oh my God, right? This is actually going to take me more time. Now, at first, he used to beat himself up a little bit. Well, shit, I can't get this done in this time. But then he started recognizing a couple things. Number one is that we've got to have balance. We've got to have balance in our life. We've got to have balance in our relationships, in our family, and in our work and all the shit that we're getting done. That was the first thing he recognized. And then he recognized, number two, to beat himself up was an absolute waste of time. This isn't about giving you shit. This isn't about slowing down. This is about being realistic with that timeline. Great things come to those who are patient, those who put in the work, not just those who wait. Because if I sit and wait, sit on my ass, I'm not going to get nothing. I'm not going to get jack squat if I'm just sitting on my ass. But if I'm being patient, if I'm working my ass off, if I'm doing everything that I know that it takes to achieve the outcome that I want, and I'm consistent, and I'm doing it over and over and over and over, that shit's going to come through. It's going to take some time. Be realistic with whatever it is that you want to achieve. I'm not saying you can't have it faster by doing more work. I'm not saying you can't have it even sooner by putting in even more time. I'm not saying that. If you've got the time, take advantage of the time. Absolutely. But what I really am saying here is set yourself up for success by having something that's realistic, right? Is it realistic for me to be some big fucking Instagram, Facebook influencer? Well, I doubt I'm even going to get there. And that's not my outcome. That's not my goal. But if I was going to say, yeah, I'm going to be that Facebook influencer in 1 month, I think I'm blowing smoke up my ass. Because in all reality, that's not going to happen. Be realistic with those timelines. Set it up. If you need a gut check, if you need someone saying, hey, is that really realistic? Ask one of your friends. Ask someone from your family. Ask someone else who can give you that outside perspective to say, hey, what do you think? Is it actually realistic? Take it with a grain of salt because only you know what you're capable of. Remember, this is the gospel of your mind. You're tuning that fucker in. We want to tune it in with some realism. We want to tune it in with some excitement, with some hustle, with some drive. And we also want to take some other insights. If someone's done something before, if someone's been successful at something, go talk to them. What did they do? How did they figure out what they needed to do to get in that place where you want to be? Timelines. Timelines is critical. Set yourself up by establishing a realistic timeline to achieve what it is that you want. When you finally recognize that you've been in that place, whatever that place is, for long enough, it's time to make some sort of move. Myself, I've been in that situation before, and I know that I'm going to be in that situation again. When I'm in that place where I know it's just not serving, where I know that I've got to move on from where I am to where I need to be. A couple things have to happen in that place in that time. I've got to first of all decide that change in my life, in my business, in my strategy has to be an absolute must. I've got to get to that place. That's that place of no more. That's that place of recognizing that if I don't change, it's literally going to be like death. When I get locked down and I get locked solid in on that place, on that time, and on that space, man, things start to really happen. Movement starts to happen. I start to go hunting for that new opportunity, that new job, if we want to call it that, or maybe even just that new thing to do, that new activity that I now want to incorporate into my life, that I now recognize I must incorporate into my life. We've got to recognize the past for all it's been, and I've talked about the past in some earlier episodes of the Gospel of Your Mind. We've got to honor the past for where we've come from and recognize that it is all about moving forward. Moving on is a gift. Moving on allows all the newness, all the new exciting parts of your life to be able to happen, to be able to come forward. Without moving on, if you choose to stay in that old place, that place that used to serve, you're going to find that many of those opportunities that are all around you, continue to stay. Moving on is magical and moving on is special because moving on helps you get to that next phase of your life. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Moving on is honoring the past. It's honoring all that you've done and all that you've had, and then recognizing the true opportunity forward. Getting jacked about it. Getting excited about it. Don't get stuck in that bunker of your mind. Don't get stuck in that place where you're telling yourself a useless story that you can't do it, that you can't move on. Instead, take command of that fucker up there. Really, truly take charge of that and then go for it. And then own those outcomes. See it better than what you know it is right now. And then go and do that. It can be something small. It can be moving on from a relationship. It can be moving on from your current position. It can be moving on from doing something that you don't want to do, maybe something that no longer serves you. Honor the past, see the forward momentum, see the future, and then step into that. There's so much gold, there's so much preciousness there, and so many people don't take action on that. They don't see the opportunity to move forward, and they get stuck in that old place. Being stuck is not a great place to be. Being stuck, as a matter of fact, it fucking sucks. We don't ever want to be in that place where we're stuck. Instead, find that opportunity for growth. Find that opportunity to change the story, change the channel of what's going on, and you'll be so thankful, so grateful that you did. If you've been thinking about it, if you've been considering doing something different in your life, then take some sort of step, some sort of motion forward to at least taste it, to at least try it on, to at least see how it fits. I'm a big fan of sampling. I'm not saying just go right on into everything and then, oh my God, I've made a humongous mistake, right? Don't do that, but sample it. If it's a job that you want, if it's something that you want to do, go find a way to get your feet wet in that. Go dip your toe in the water and see if it's the right thing for you. Moving on is about discovering all those new opportunities. Let's face it, the last thing that you'd ever want to be doing is sitting on that porch of your life, recognizing that, man, shit, I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Don't be that person. Don't be that gal. Don't be that guy that's doing that at the rest of your life. Moving on means finding those new opportunities, sampling it, getting those toes wet, getting that taste on your tongue to see if it's what you really, truly want. You might be surprised at what you find. You might find that thing that you really thought you were going to love, you fucking hate. And if that's the case, celebrate the shit out of that because now you know that's not what you want to do. Moving on means getting out of your comfort zone. Moving on means doing what you're not doing right now. Take that opportunity. Get out of that place of being stuck simply by finding that one or two or three things that you can be doing. It'll be so incredibly worth your time. Number one thing you can do is be curious. Start opening your mind to that idea of wonder. All those amazing thoughts, all the amazingness that can happen when you simply allow yourself to open up, to be curious, to explore, to find all the greater meanings in life. No matter what's happening, it is worth your while. It is so fucking worth your while to find all the amazingness in the world. When you open up that mind to curiosity, the impossible becomes possible. You get to do things that you never thought that you could ever do, and you get to grow from that place. Take this, be a part of this, Be curious, open up your mind, and experience all the amazingness that is.